Hey guys, welcome to episode. What episode are we on now?
47.
47. Fuck, almost a year in. Welcome to episode 47 of Rekt Radio. As you guys know, this show is sponsored by Rollbit. So if you want to get involved in the crypto space and a bunch of different things they have on offer, go ahead and check out rollbit.com. As usual, we'll have 2 codes to give away on this show. The first code is finally 992. Finally 992. That's the first code. We give the last code at the end. And as usual, we'll finish off with the loot box spins as well. But make sure you're, if you want to watch this on video, we've posted the broadcast link on Twitter. Check out our Twitters. You can also watch the recordings on YouTube. Also check out Spotify as well if you want to hear the audio recordings. But yeah, everyone make sure you're following the Rekt Radio account and give us the likes, retweets, love, support, tears, dreams, hope, cope, and everything you can. Everything you can.
We need
All right.
Yeah, so here we go. Today we got CryptoFinally. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. You guys turned me into a ref code.
Yeah, no, we did. I mean, people are using that right now. Probably getting rich if I had to expect on that code right there. So yeah, let's get into it. What have we been looking at this week, gents? Anything interesting? I mean, like I don't know. It feels like crypto hasn't moved again in a while. It feels like we have these massive volatility events and then nothing, and then nothing you lose all your money. I wouldn't know, but in those spots, it seems you make it, then you lose it. I don't know. I sound crazy. Anyway,
I feel like the market just went up like this week.
No, that was at least a week and a half ago, maybe.
No, it was definitely like this. It wasn't Ethereum was 1530 like 8 days ago, 9 days ago.
Yeah, that's a week and a half from.
Anyway.
You trade in Solana? Yeah, I'm surprised you're not involved in shorting Solana at this stage, KBM. It just feels like, yeah.
No. I'm a Solana bull. I think that chart looks great.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the chart looks good. Why are you gonna fight that? It's like something that was nuked into the ground from, all the transgressions I had with Sam and Almeida and all that.
By the way, have you got? Is your phone next to you? I think there's like an echo where you are.
Here, let me toss it away. No, no, it's not really near me, so I don't know what the fuck to do there. Is it still there?
It's a bit better now, I think.
All right, listen, I'll throw the phone back there for real this time. The phone's gone. Hopefully, I don't need it for anything. Is it better now?
I think it's great. I think you guys are doing great.
That was the phone. You guys were correct. Maybe it's the new setup I have here. I got a green screen. I got all sorts of shit.
I'm just saying, all right, if the guy says in the chat again that 3 Boomers trying to do tech, is just we've hit everything there. Echo, the music of the start didn't work. The Twitter space didn't start, and we didn't put out the broadcast link. So we hit the big 4.
Well, if you played that on your Rollbit bingo card today, you won. Congrats. Jackpot.
We should maybe do that. But yeah, I'm surprised. I see all the day traders trying to short Solana here, and I just feel like they were going to get wrecked. Not to say that I thought you were going to get wrecked, but it just felt
I'm not shorting it. Dude, I got better things to do than sit around and short shit like that. I mean, like, I'm doing a lot of big things here, sitting outside, doing nothing, things like that. Yeah, no, I lost all my money shorting that Bitcoin and Ether already in that range when trading it long, short.
Yeah, it's been painful, I have to say. Like, we did have that move up, and then now it's just been it's just going from 35K down to 34K, and every single time you think there's momentum, you get burnt. It looked terrific.
What have you been doing finally? Have you been trading this stuff? Give us a little bit of insight on if you're trading actively daily or like what you do on day-to-day basis.
No, so everyone says that the best trades are going to be people who sat around and did nothing, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't think that I'm smarter than everyone else who's trying to trade the market. I don't believe that to be true, but I do know that the coins are going to go up, right? Maybe they don't. Maybe we all go to zero and it's hilarious. But don't short the market, right? That's what's always been true in crypto. And I feel like people don't say that as much as they used to because it's not so centered around Bitcoin in the way that it was, in prior starts of bull markets. But shorting the market's typically a bad idea. I do think the Solana versus ETH thing is silly, though. That thing, the whole thing.
What do you think of ETH here? Like, ETH has been a massive underperformer versus Bitcoin, I mean, it's fine versus Solana because like whatever, like high beta stuff rallies, but then it's also underperformed versus Bitcoin in the last few weeks as well, maybe because of the ETF stuff. Like, and I think the sentiment on the timeline for ETH is probably the worst like I've ever seen it in the last couple of years. Like, what's your take on that? Like, is it a good entry point for ETH, or is it just like?
I think that, ETH obviously has a bright future, right? We're always looking at ETH. I have a ton of ETH. I think that it has a lot more to do with the way that we're viewing the market and what we want to get out of the market, right? So we're saying right now that Ethereum is underperforming, but it's not always about chasing the fastest thing. And it doesn't always need to be. Some people really are investing for exposure and for growth. And I think that ETH is actually awesome, right? Because while it doesn't break you down from volatility and stuff like that, people are saying just like jump all the way into one of these smaller tokens. Like ETH is going to continue to succeed. I think it was Pentoshi who tweeted about it today, and he said something along the lines of like Ethereum, has a like definite possibility of reaching its all-time high, whereas other coins might struggle in that process. And I kind of believe that to be true. I'm not looking at sort of the day-to-day kind of thing. I'm looking at the larger picture, right? So where do we end up, 2 years from now? Again, that's me saying that I'm not doing anything, right? I'm not trying to catch these like short moments of volatility the way a lot of other people are.
That's smart, a very well-balanced and patient take, something that I may have not taken, and now I'm paying for it. Be much
I don't
better
want to lose my money, like
That's
it's
smart too.
something like you should have conviction and you should hold big bags, but there's also preservation. And once you hit a certain point, preservation becomes really important because people really forget all it takes is one mistake, right? One mistake and everything can go wrong. It's actually all your responsibility. And if you really think about it like that, it is 100% my fucking responsibility. If I want to continue doing this, if I don't want to lose everything, that's my job. And that's just as important as my chase to make more.
Yeah.
So how did it happen? How did it happen finally? Like you clearly you took some risks at the start, and now you're in preservation mode. But maybe let's go back to the origins of Finally. Like, how did you first get into the space? What were the big things you started getting into early?
I worked in production, and this is a boring story, but I worked in production and I had friends from YouTube who did production stuff, and they had a crypto YouTube channel, and they brought me to a consensus party, and I thought it was awesome. And like, you can find this this quote verbatim because I just don't know how to tell the story anymore. But I walked into the room and I thought to myself, these people aren't going to lose all their money. This was like 2017. So, people did lose money, but I was really in. People were passionate. I worked on a different channel for a little while, and then I started this account in the September 2018. So it's my Twitter anniversary of way too many years as CryptoFinally. But yeah, I just had friends who were involved, and it sounded interesting to me, and here I am. I mean, like, what was life before crypto, right? Like gig economy stuff. I was a teacher for a little bit.
Mando, I think you're muted.
You're muted, Michael.
Uh-oh.
But like, as far as risk and like getting involved, like everything was a risk. I think that now that more people know about crypto, they get involved at a different stage in life. But a lot of us, like, we really didn't have a lot going on when we first started doing crypto, right? I'm making these like $25 a week investments, like really hoping that I'm going to make it big one day, but it wasn't any major loss to me. It wasn't like I started off taking some massive risk with some big portfolio that I had before I got here. It's something that I accumulated over time, and more or less it was just conviction, right? As soon as I started making any money in life, like, it was in crypto, and nothing amazing, right? Like ETH, Bitcoin, like whatever was available in 2018. Like, I didn't hit off any really big runs except, a couple of like the DeFi L2s when people started jumping over there. Like I did well on some of that, but it was mostly just like being here and participating in the bull market and like not fucking up too badly. And like, the sad truth, like, that's really all you need to do.
Yeah, we've had a few people on here who've said similar sort of stuff. It's just like, just survive. Like, if you have enough of a bag to preserve and just survive, yeah, if you catch the next cycle, we're all going to make it. So I kind of agree with that. But I feel as though you've kind of over the last 18 months maybe become a bit more degenerate in what you get involved in. Like you're now rocking the Milady PFP. I see you involved in several shitcoins. Like this isn't just an ETH and Bitcoin bag, right? Like you definitely do.
You just made up the shitcoin part. I promise that. You
Do you know?
But I'm an
assume all
honorary
Milady's
Milady. I'm
trading
not
in
actually.
Bitcoin.
No, this is great. We love this. I'm an honorary fake Milady. I'm not even a real Milady.
Oh,
I've
wow.
never held a single Milady. I don't fucking own any Miladies. I'm not pumping shit.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And,
I like it.
and I don't think I've talked about a token in forever, which is like kind of lame. Because I'm missing out on a lot of the fun of the communities and stuff like that, right? Like, and I know that, and I know that, like, if you want to get involved and do something like that, it'd be great. But I'm over here trying to just, stay on my straight and narrow, which is this is the advice that I give. This is what I want for the people who are watching me, and that's kind of tough. But no, I haven't gotten involved in any shitcoins on the timeline. My biggest bags are still, and everyone hates this, but they're still like a lot of DeFi stuff, right? And not like old dead DeFi, things that I think are actually going to succeed. This is dumb, but it's insightful. Cobie said something a long time ago along the lines of how DeFi and, things that are going to attract sort of the institutions, because we know that they're coming, right? We know what BlackRock's doing. We know what all these people are doing. That kind of stuff is going to see its day. And I think that there will be some sort of drop off of a lot of the other stuff. I still hold meme coins. I'm still fucking around with all that stuff. But like, I really do stick to what it is that I know and what it is that I can have long-term conviction in over just sort of swapping bags all the time.
Yeah. I think like something you preach on a little bit of capital preservation over capital appreciation is definitely a lot of people in the crypto arena seem to forget. Sometimes I've forgotten that myself in the past. But yeah, if you're not like
when I had like $12, like I really was full of hopium too, like it's part of the process of being here, I think, for like years or cycles, right? And I think that a lot of people also mistake years for cycles, right? Like say you got here in 2021. Well, I've been in crypto for 2 years now and I'm like, I know everything, but you haven't lived the full cycle. There's still more to learn, and there's always more to learn. And like every day I see something new that I wouldn't have seen last time. And it's a cumulative educational process when it comes to like assessing the space and what you believe in and what you want to get out of it. And people right now, money, whatever, that's fine. We all want money, whatever. I know I do. But there's a lot less people who are sort of looking at the space as a whole, I think, and like seeing the different possibilities of what could happen here.
So I remember when I first heard about you, I think somebody said, "Oh, she was huge in DeFi summer," and you've just touched upon that a little bit. Then, like, and you now said you feel comfortable in that realm. Like, what are you interested in DeFi? Like, what do you think about the future of that space? And maybe, yeah, what were you doing during DeFi summer? What were the war stories that I kind of heard the secondhand rumors about?
I have no idea, man. I'm
Really?
just like, well, I was a part of DeFi summer, but I don't understand the mystical rumors. But I was doing DeFi. Yeah, I got really heavily involved. I actually was more absent on Twitter at that time. I got really into just like interacting with smart contracts and like playing on-chain games, like an unbelievable amount of transactions. It's so stupid. I need to play video games, but I was really, really into it, and just everything possible. So I did well, I guess. I did well on Phantom, right? When money moved over to Phantom, I don't know what my inkling was, but I always go with gut feelings. Everyone at the time was going to AVAX. This was like AVAX's first original pump, and like and people were just sort of learning how bridges work, and I thought, like, why not just jump to Phantom right now? And then that did pretty well, and a lot of those were like low market cap coins. It's funny, it's interesting to watch the meme coins because they're iterations of what we saw before, right? And they're sort of just taking out the ideals that they ever did do something. So I'm into that part, but it's just scary. I don't know that I have like crazy war stories. I was on every protocol. I clicked everything. I got rugged a lot, but it was fine. Like, I don't even remember the times I got rugged. I think people like forget about that too, right? Like, we used to all just get rugged every day, and you never even thought to complain about it. You'd just be like, oh, rats. Like, that's that, I guess. Like, and things have just really changed since then. It was a whirlwind of internet. But I think, you know, and I guess that I just like sort of realized this now, but a lot of what was beneficial, right? It's just like being one of the first people there. And so while that's true of meme coins, it's also true of other technologies. And that's where I hit it off in DeFi summer mostly. And then everything went wrong, of course, after Alameda.
I remember being in, I obviously entered late, but I remember going when Polygon was kicking off and there was a lot of DeFi things going on then. And I remember just being in like Discord groups with the devs of like different DeFi protocol would spring up every single day. And you'd literally see the community just like begging them not to rug, just like keep the Ponzi going for like another week. Just keep it going, please. And then invariably they all rugged, but it was just like a back and forth. Like you knew you were going to get rugged. It was just kind of like when, and you just kind of hope that you could get out with with like the tokens before it happened. It sounds like that was just like the rinse and repeat done on every single chain out there.
Well, it's funnier when you really think about the way the liquidity was moving and like looping and stuff like that, right? So like I know that the DeFi bubble in DeFi summer was also real, right? The amounts of like lends and borrows, and then Alameda was injecting liquidity into everything. So that was scary too. It's scary, right? I'm not saying it's not scary, but it's interesting to get to interact with stuff like this. But also, right, remember that DeFi summer was coming off the cusp of none of this stuff existed before. The only thing you could do if you wanted to do crypto was like dev work or doing like things on centralized exchanges. And I always had bad luck on centralized exchanges. Something always kind of went wrong. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day when just everything went wrong every single time you tried to like move money on or off of SEX, or like you were trying to trade, like it just didn't work like it does today. And so it was really exciting to get something like Uniswap, and like I just got like really autistically obsessed with it, and it was profitable.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for. I mean, like, I guess a little bit of what you touched on that we can talk about too is like sizing and risk management. And like when you're taking these positions and shitty meme coins or DeFi that's super speculative. I mean, like, how do you think about sizing these kind of things so that you can forget about the rug and not have to dwell on it and compulsively try to gamble it back in the future?
Yeah, I don't put a lot of size into these things, right? So this is something that I thought about a lot since like going from $12 to having money, which was that everything I did last time worked fine, right? I didn't have these giant bags to put into these low market cap coins at the time, and they still performed amazingly. And so how can I recreate something like that that's not going to be of massive risk to me right now? If I can do what I did when I had $12, I'll be happy, right? I'll just do that again. It's not always about like getting the most. And I'm just like sort of ranting on this, I guess, because I feel like the vibe on crypto Twitter has been kind of weird. But like, you don't need impossible amounts of money, right? You don't need unreasonable amounts of money. You need money to get somewhere in life. We all want a lot of it. I talk about things like 10 million, 25 million as benchmarks, but there are people here, you know, with much more cash than that, and that's what we chase because it's possible, because something like that has never been possible for people like us before. But I think that exposing yourself to undue risk, you know, in a situation where you're gonna, you know, get off amazing, like you're gonna end up making money in this market just by showing up and holding on to things that you believe in over time, to really risk losing everything. I think it's stupid, right? I think it's dumb. So I can buy more watches, I can go on more vacations, I can flaunt more on the internet. Like, we're putting a lot at risk, and that bothers me. But sorry, that was a rant and it got sad, but I get
No, it's good. I think it's good for everyone to hear. I mean, I think people on crypto Twitter were talking about 10 million wasn't enough to retire there at the peak. And now I'm guessing they're rethinking that stance after the markets went down a ton.
Well, last cycle too, like I wasn't as good as sort of tracking what I have. I wasn't as used to having money, right? This kind of thing. I had things in different places. I had a liquid funds mixed up with my liquid funds and my trackers, and I thought I maybe had more money than I did, like to the point that like the way I was I couldn't even tell you how much money I lost from the top. Certainly it's a lot, but I couldn't even tell you how much, right? And so like I the frenzy of it all, right? The frenzy of it all. And like, did I ever like hit rock bottom? No. But like, is 10 million enough to retire? Certainly it is if you don't get caught in the frenzy.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of trackers and stuff, how do you keep track of that stuff now for people out there who maybe are still doing that same type of thing?
Yeah. My favorite two of all time are CoinStats and DBank, right? And so I have in my DeFi guide actually like a ton of different portfolio trackers and like what I think the best parts of all of them are. So if you actually check in that section of the DeFi guide, like I have favorite things about every about everything that I use, right? And so like the way that I wrote that guide in specific, when I try to like not advise people, I guess, but like point people in directions of things that work, is like I've been really clear, like this was my favorite thing about this, and this was my favorite thing about this. I've seen a lot of people are using Zerion recently, and I think that the Zerion people are awesome, and I think they're really savvy and in tune. But I think that DBank is just a better product, and I think it has been for a long time. Zerion was one of the original guys. And then CoinStats is great because like you can track every wallet on every chain just like directly. They'll read them the same way you would like a DeFi reader. And then you can also do manual inputs and entries, which is great if you do things like staking, right? So you can keep track of what you're staking and where it is.
Michael, you're muted again, buddy.
I am such a boomer.
Yeah, you're crushing it.
I hadn't seen your website. I just brought it up. Like, this is cool. So this is like you CryptoFinally.io. You can go on there and you've written guides for a bunch of different things. It looks like in Web3. When did you start doing this?
I wrote the whole DeFi guide in like 2 weeks in November of last year. I just sat, so this is the thing about me, and it's why I don't have a high output, right? When things hit me with a great deal of inspiration, I am determined to complete them, hence a Bitboy arc or whatever the fuck else I've done in the last 6 months. But if I really care about something, I'm really going to get into it because I'm passionate about it, but I'm not always passionate. So the DeFi guide, I got really passionate about it. And why? Because I had been hiding in the shadows doing all this secret DeFi stuff for so long, and like I wanted to share it with people, and I knew everything that I wrote on the back of my hand, and it was there in my head ready to come out. Right now, you're not always going to have a moment where a full educational guide is ready to come out of your brain into the computer, but I did in those 2 weeks. So that's everything that I've loved and used, and some of the stuff is a little bit outdated. There are many disclaimers that are there. I am not a financial advisor. I am not helping with any of your investments, and none of those third-party links are my responsibility. Please do your own due diligence. But it's all stuff that I've used before, right? None of it's sponsored, none of it's incentivized. Those are all protocols and educational sources that I've used on my own. I also sourced a lot of good articles from online. It is really, really hard to find good educational articles that are all encompassing, right? That are able to sort of teach you from point A to point B to point C. There's a lot of frittering around the internet to find different things. I did used to be a teacher. I wrote the guide in a way that is built for hands-on learners like myself, right? Who can go through and click and choose to learn more about something that they're interested in, or use the protocol as they're learning about it and then go back and learn more to a new advanced level. But it's built sort of so if you were to start as a beginner and walk through the steps, you would be able to add to your skill sets. And I did this for fun. I don't know, but it's great. Yes.
No, this is awesome. This is something I'm gonna now have a look through. Like, DeFi is a place where you can get destroyed so quickly in so many different ways that I think something like this is very useful.
there's a risk section too where I talk about risk, but like it's amazing, like, you know, sometimes I forget something and I go back to my own guide to like, oh, that's right, that's correct, and make sure that I was right. I had a lot of friends help me with eyes on it, right? So I wrote it out as a full first draft, and then I had a lot of smart people from different parts of the industry look at different parts of it. I had guys who do a lot of security stuff look at the risk part. I had guys who like know certain protocols on different chains look at those sections, and so it got a lot of good feedback before it hit its final form that it's in right now. But I'm confident that the information is good, and that's good because it's really easy to lead people astray in a domain where no one really knows what's going on.
Do you think DeFi is going to come back? Like TVL hasn't really picked up, even with crypto coming back. And I think part of that is everyone kind of knows the Ponzi's of it, but there are some real things being formed around like RWAs and all that. Like, what are you still excited about in DeFi? Or do you think it's just the same stuff being done on a new chain each time?
I don't think DeFi is going to die, quite honestly. I think that the way that people consider DeFi when they think about Ponzi's, right? Like, and it's so funny that people still think about DeFi as Ponzi's, but are just insistent that memes are not. So I don't even know how to start there. But I think a lot of it is not Ponzi's, right? I think that you get a lot of people who rush into any new industry, any new excitement or hype, and start building Ponzi's because money is fast, right? And everyone loves money, and that's why a lot of people are here. But it doesn't necessarily signify that you know, section of the industry is all that way. I think there are a lot of really strong protocols and projects that are out there right now that people aren't even thinking about, once again, because we're thinking about getting 1,000x gains in 10 seconds. But there are good choices. And, you know, I think that overall, like it will, DeFi is a real competitor, right? Like you really think about the reasons that we are here and what people are trying to accomplish with crypto. DeFi is a real competitor to the banking system, and they're gonna know that, right? And like I sound like I have a tinfoil hat on my head, but like why wouldn't they want to get involved? Why, you know? If it's just about selling your coins at a different level of the Ponzi, and that's what everyone's going to view everything as regardless, how could you not take a bet on the banks literally getting involved in this sector, which, you know, they will, it's inevitable. That's my take.
I had a to make a pivot. I was curious to ask about the whole Bitboy stuff and the whole Bitboy arc. I know that's been something that's dominated the timeline.
Uh-oh. You want to get in the gossip side of it?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious.
You done with the DeFi?
I'm not done with the DeFi, but I'm just mixing it up a little bit. But yeah, how did that whole thing start? Like what was the deal there?
It's so disappointing. So he was on a redemption arc, man. Do you remember? So
I remember the soul.
I went to dinner with him once in the Bahamas randomly. I went to dinner with this guy.
He's still like on the show, so we you know, we'll keep doors open.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming on the show, man. Oh. He's coming on after this episode.
Let him have it. Let him have it.
No, he was on a redemption arc, and that was fine and dandy. I thought, I'm just a girl, and at first, we're just walking through the steps because a lot happened, because this man really can hit some arcs quickly. But like, I thought it was silly when him and Gabriel Haynes flew to the Bahamas to harass SBF. Like, yes, I know SBF is a bad guy, but like, flying to his house to try and break into his he owns the whole building, right? Like the whole security team belongs to him. I thought that was silly. So that started happening during his arc, and it was fine. And like, I saw him at a couple events, actually. I saw him in the real world a few times, right? Like I know that man. I know him. So I saw him in the real world a few times, and then that was fine. And then he started fucking around with Ben ETH, right, on the timeline. And like, you can probably go back and see my comments. I was just like, hey man, like, you're on a redemption arc. Like, why are you doing this, man? Why did you just write Ben Armstrong beef with 3 question marks on the screen?
Fucking around. I don't know.
Anyway,
I've never produced a show before, so I'm fucking with it, having a good time. I thought it was good.
It was good, man. It was good. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
All right, keep going.
I just started quietly being inquisitive about why he was doing this, and I think one of my last nice comments was like in all caps letters, and I just wrote like, "Why are you doing this, man?" And it was just like that. But I was just sort of playing around, and then I started talking about it more because like he started getting what I viewed to be as kind of evil, right? Like things started. Evil was afoot. It wasn't so fun anymore. It wasn't so like, why are you doing this, man? It started being unfun and scary. And so like I was tweeting about that, and then I don't know where things hit ahead. He turned into like a bad guy. Like it just kind of happened, and I got swept up in the madness. And then I let it go. I let the whole thing go. I stopped tweeting about him for like a week. I was living in a hotel. I was very sad in the hotel. I was like, oh, well, Bitboy arc is over and I'm here and I'm alone and doing the CryptoFinally thing again. And then out of God knows nowhere, he sent that home record tweet, right? Literally, that's when that happened. I had already let it go. I wasn't tweeting at him. We were not actively in a feud. And then I logged in sad in this hotel room. And I think it was like Screen Times tagged me. He's like, what is this about? And I don't know what the fuck this is about, man. And then I looked down at my phone and he is like texting my phone like really aggressively. Like those are something that I posted too. Yeah. And I just went into panic mode. I get really bad anxiety if it's not incredibly obvious from my Twitter profile. I get really bad anxiety. So I was like really upset by that. And that was it. Then I just decided it wasn't over. But now it is. Now it's over. And I just sort of narrated from that point on, right? I didn't actually take a single jab at him in any like sort of newer creative way aside from the public stuff that he was putting on the internet after that home record tweet, right? I didn't even go back to what he was doing with Ben. I didn't go back to any of the stuff that we were talking about before. Now it's a spectacle, right? You want to do this. Also, the home record tweet is like completely random, and it was horrible because I had to like go explain to people like I actually have no idea what he's talking about. I've been alone in this room for years. That's wild.
Semi-ironic though too.
Oh, I mean, complete projection. I've never seen someone project that hard, like never in my life. But it's what these guys were doing, right? So like it's like Paulie, Ben, and Bitboy, and like they really were all projecting like a lot. And it's interesting just from like a psychological point of view to like see the behavior of how people act when they're wrapped up in sort of schemes like this, right? Like when there's a lot of money on the line, when you're in a god like state, right? Like, and I'm not to say that they're godlike, but they have these large audiences that believe in them no matter what. And when you have something like that behind you, how does it change your awareness of the world, right? And I think that happened to Bitboy. And I actually, while it is hilarious and I feel scorned by the home record tweet, obviously, or I would have shut the fuck up a long time ago. It's sad to watch people lose their sense of reality online, and not to say that I'm exempt from that, not to say that hasn't happened to me too, but like he really lost his sense of reality. And we're picking it apart and watching it like it's a show. He's totally losing it. And it doesn't mean he's not a bad guy. It doesn't mean he didn't commit crimes. It doesn't mean he didn't deserve to go to jail for harassing a guy outside of his apartment, right? Like all of that stuff did happen. But at the same time, he totally lost it. This isn't just a grifter who got like, one too many like rugs under his belt. Like he left his family. He made real like substantial life-changing decisions. And I think that's sad. I talked a little bit about Greek tragedy and it's stupid, but I think it's quite interesting, right? When you look at a Greek tragedy, you always have a hero of the tragedy. In this sense, it would be Bitboy, and that would be
Bitboy is a Greek tragedy. Is that?
Yep. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he was a tragic hero, and tragic heroes not they always fall to their own tragic flaw, right? So we're looking at the greats, and at some point they're going to stumble upon something that they've done wrong, and it won't just be their doing, but also the doing of the gods that will assist them in their final fall from greatness, right? And what we saw here was just a beautiful story, and we had a chorus, we had people singing along, like it was a literal Greek tragedy. It was theatrical, and there's a reason everyone got so involved. We were there to see him fall and tumble, and to see these great reveals, things that we didn't know what would happen next. There was comic relief, like it was a fucking story, and that's why we liked it, and that's why it was amazing. Fuck all is going on with him and his grifting and his money and his girlfriend and whatever the fuck he does. The story was fantastic, and we all participated. Anyway, so that's it. He was a Greek tragedy, yes.
It is wild to see that he was coming back, right? I just remember it was like he was kind of seen as like the people's hero to a certain extent. During the SPF thing, right? Because he was like, oh, you know, like I'm the one fighting for everyone. Everyone was like, this guy's all right. Like, well, he's going to survive. He's going to be good. And then he just took a fork in the road and he was doing.
Then it turned into a good show, a good Greek tragedy.
Like money and attention is corrupting, right? And like I'm a corruptible person, but I have tried at every turn not to be corrupted. Now then you've got to look at someone who doesn't try not to be, right? Someone who just accepts at every single turn, this is what I'm going to say yes to, this is what I'm going to do, this is what's next, and not stopping to like look at the greater picture. He was totally swayed by the money, right? We literally saw it happen in real time. He saw, and this is also, I just want to zoom out for 1 second, and it's everything. I always preface what I have to say as stupid, and I always say sorry, and I cannot beat that out of me. But it was Borovic, right? Borovic tweet that he needed money for a new cell phone, and he got that ETH for the money for his new cell phone. And then some next guy thought, oh wait, we can get some ETH, and they put an address and they got some ETH. And then Ben thought to himself, wait, what if I could do a pre-sale without doing anything, because I don't know how to do a pre-sale. I have a wallet address, let's get some ETH. And then Polly saw that and said, hey, I think I can get some ETH. And Bitboy is just all mixed up in this, deciding to get involved because like this hype cycle's going on. Could I have decided to get some ETH? Absolutely, I could have. But like, you need to make your own decisions, you know, just in general, like who you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to put into the world. And Bitboy didn't care, and he fell off, and he lost his redemption arc. And I have things to say about everything for years. So once again, I'll end it with, I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I wish I would have got some ETH in retrospect now that I don't have the ETH from the scam.
Yeah, well, when liquidity was better, definitely. I mean, I think I could have done a rug. I think I could have gotten $1 million in donations. Who knows what I could have done? But like, it just isn't the direction that I want to head, right? And it's not necessarily to say that things are ethical or moral or whatever the fuck you want to assign to them, virtue signal if you do or if you don't. But I don't want to get wrapped up in that. And it's a lot to get wrapped up in. And like, we saw everyone who got wrapped up in that, we saw them lose their minds. We saw them lose their minds and everything attached to it, because it's unrealistic. Back to, is $10 million enough? Yes, it's more than enough. So
yeah, I agree. There's a lot of good crypto Twitter lore. I don't know. Maybe we'll try to think of some other lore while we're sitting here. And also, weren't you going to be on an HBO show with some of my friends about crypto Twitter? Whatever happened to that? I thought, like, were you on the show with Gainzy, SizeChad?
I was.
And Cobie was producing, and then I guess the bear market happened, but that would have been a little entertaining.
That's a good show.
We filmed like
should I bring it back?
We filmed a couple trailers for it, right? Like, so that's when we were in Dubai, and like that was fun. Yeah, we were gonna do that. I don't really know what happened. Cobie left like a mysterious comment like a couple months ago somewhere saying that they didn't want us anymore because of like a variety of reasons. I was not included in the variety of reasons they wanted me. That's awesome. But Yeah, they didn't want us anymore. And then like everyone got old too, right? Like everyone got old and lost all their money and lost their minds.
Guys, this would have been a good arc for the show.
It would have been great. They should have gotten that part, because then, I mean, the comeback art will be that much greater.
Yeah.
But no, they just don't want us. And I don't know why they did. I myself got involved in some other documentary style things with some network, and it might happen, but you know how things never happen. So I don't ever get my hopes up, because it's a sad world. But I did this thing and it might be cool. And I don't know. I like to take opportunities when I get to be the voice of part of the internet. I like that. That's the fun for me. It's more fun than making $10 million in donations in a day, which might sound stupid, but like, I want to have opinions. I want to have the right to have opinions.
It's funny how you described it. It was a waterfall of grifting, wasn't it? Around that time, you're like, it was one
domino
iPhone caused fucking millions to be sent.
That's what I do, right? And that's why I'm always like upset or whatever, is because like I just sit sort of on the sideline and I watch the space and I watch things happen, and I'm just on the internet, literally like eagle eye, and like seeing the dominoes drop and seeing people form into different segments and groups and like things that start to arise, and like it's great for trading, right? That's exactly what you want. You want to sit quietly on the sidelines, but I'm here stupid with my followers just like, hey everybody, look at what I saw. And but that's what I do, is I watch. And so yes, it all started with Borovic needing a new cell phone, and that's crazy. And like I can pinpoint a lot of other big things that started at a single moment, and like I grow resentful of things like that, which is stupid because I need to just let the internet go. But that is what I do.
As crypto's eagle eye watchful hero in the shadows that no one really knows is watching, what do you have on? Have you seen anything lately? Any narratives? Anything cool and interesting? Maybe not the Greek tragedy, but hopefully some kind of story.
Anything cool or interesting? I think SocialFi is interesting. I think that the chaos going on at Stars Arena is interesting, right? That's something that's going on right now. This morning, I actually like Chill Pill. He was the last person who I went on a podcast with, and I don't mean to say actually, if Chill Pill is listening, I do like you, Chill Pill. You've been very kind to me. I don't know what drama you're messed up in, but I'm not going to view you anyway from Stars Arena. What?
It's wild what's been going on there. Like,
yes,
on the
I don't know morning, familiar with it is.
He posted this morning like a series of screenshots from like an argument or whatever, or like him, and not an argument. He's like outreaching to the dev. I have no idea what happened because it's so crazy. But that's an interesting like.
Who is
all
this?
of it. Kook started working for them, and then he started making up make-believe lore, I guess.
Is this for Stars Arena? Sorry.
Yeah, Stars Arena. We're talking about Stars Arena.
Did you not follow what was happening, KBM? So like it went down because of a hack. And then they were like, we're going to wait. And then SocialFi kind of like did that whole arc and kind of went down.
I want to say something important. Just like in the thing, it did go, there was a hack. People are forgetting that when they're doing SocialFi or MemeFi or Telegram BotFi or whatever the fuck that is they're doing, they're actually still doing DeFi. You're still doing DeFi, and you still need to approach it in such a way and be careful of risk in the same way you would with DeFi. But people are associating different ends of industry to them, so they're not thinking about that in the same way they would about like doing something they would assume is DeFi. You're doing DeFi when you're doing all these things. So Stars Arena was victim to a DeFi hack. That's what happened. And people don't think about it like that either. So I just wanted to put that in there. Yes, there was a DeFi hack. It was something like some $1 million got stolen, and then lots of drama ensued. But like SocialFi is just DeFi, right? And like we've seen iterations like this before. I think it's really cool, but like what a mess.
It was a mess. And then seemingly they restarted.
It's one of those forks.
They restarted, and then it didn't really pick up. And then basically everyone started blaming each other. Seemingly the CEO, Bill, left, and a couple of others, but it's been all over the timeline. They are just firing.
I've got eagle eye for that. So FriendTech started and everyone got involved in FriendTech because it was exciting. And also we love Racer, right? We were excited because Racer did something really cool that we could all participate in. I liked it because I had my own group chat now. Fuck everyone. Fuck your group chat. I have my own on FriendTech. So I thought that was cool. But everyone loved what was going on there. And all of a sudden, right, we saw that you could make a lot of money on FriendTech. And then Stars Arena popped up and everyone who supported FriendTech jumped over to Stars Arena because guess what? You can make money on Stars Arena. And they had all of those initial supporters and those OGs and the people who we really trust jump over to Stars Arena. And so we believed in it. It was going to succeed. Then Ava Labs gets involved. Emil, is it Emil?
It's M something, I think.
Yeah.
The guy from Ava Labs, they start tweeting about Stars Arena and how great it is and everyone believes it. And then, lo and behold, yes, there is a hack and that sucked, but it's not the hack that went down. It's when we later found out that a bunch of these kids with Twitter accounts were running Stars Arena. That's when it sort of lost its trust in it. And now we're watching Chill and Kook, both who people who have been kind to me and I love them. And I'm way more dramatic on the internet than they'll ever be. So I couldn't possibly talk shit. They are getting wound up in this drama and it's taking away from what Stars Arena was and could have been. So that's probably why it's going to fizzle out unless it stops and they're able to rebuild it with a new narrative and possibly regain that audience that originally came from FriendTech.
Are you still on FriendTech, KBM?
No, I gave up. It was just like too much brain power. I mean, I'm not as good as like overwatching everything like Finally is. Like I can barely keep up with the timeline, as you just found out.
I can't keep up with FriendTech because it kind of hurts my feelings. Like
it's too fragmented for me.
I agree.
It's just like, what the fuck? I can't like spend all my waking hours like talking in 75 group chats, and as much as I would love to, no. But I let the people holding know. I'm sure they all were pissed off, but I didn't sell any of my own keys or anything like that. But
yeah,
no,
it has been a bit like that. It was interesting, but now I feel as though it's become slightly a chore for people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like wake up, do this, do that, talk on your FriendTech, do this, like answer like bullshit that's just fluff, just so it looks like you're active. I'm just like, I don't need this in my life right now.
Yeah. And the people making money were like all the farmer strategies. It didn't really feel quite right. But I do think it has a medium-term future. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not to get rich. It's not to get rich. I think that's what it was at the people saw at the start. It's like, it's great for what it is and great for private chat rooms and private access to influencers who want to go that route and talk to people privately like that. Then it's great, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, the FriendTech, what is it called? 3-3 farming, where like everyone's holding each other hostage, like guns pointed at if you sell. It's just like, I don't have time for that shit right now. So pass. What about you? Finally, are you in the street still or no?
I'm still logging in and saying what's up, but like people aren't really logging in, so there's not a lot of people to talk to in the same way that there was. I think 3-3 was definitely silly. I think like it's interesting. This is Eagle Eye to watch Web3 start to leave their little domain and enter new ones and learn about new technologies in a way they hadn't before. And it's natural to progress as you're in the industry and learn different things. They broke out of JPEGs and they jumped into meme coins and they jumped into SocialFi. But like 3-3, I think, was a product of Web3 getting involved in SocialFi, right? Like I think that like conceptually, like, oh, we're just gonna hold on to each other, and like they're like tweeting at each other, like he broke my 3-3. It was a rug, you know. It's just like, all right, guys, like you just stay here a little longer, like hang out, find out what's going on. But yeah, I don't use it like a crazy amount, but I am still logging in and I still have it there. It causes me a mild bit of stress when friends tell me, but that's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows how 3-3 ends from like Olympus Down and other iterations of it. So it's just funny that everyone's willing to play the Ponzi game knowing that it ends in a rug. It's just hot potato. You just don't be last, I guess. People are okay playing hot potato knowing that things will end up nuclear molten lava in the end, but hopefully you just win along the way and don't be last, I guess, is a big narrative in crypto when people are gambling.
One more question for you before we go to the closing questions. Do you think, in your opinion,
Seth's going to circle it back to something? Do you have the Bitboy question?
I got one more. I'm just curious to hear. I like asking all our guests this right now because I think it's like quite a debated topic. But do you feel like we are potentially at the beginning of like the next bull run or super cycle, whatever you want to call it. There's all these different names for it. Or do you think we still have some ways to go? Like, I know we've had some good price action in the last few weeks, and we've been in this like very prolonged bear. But do you think the worst is over and it's sort of going to be up only from here for the next few months and years, or are you of a different view?
Yeah, I mean, first, I don't think it's up only, but I do think that like volatility is moving upwards, right? I think that we're moving upwards. I don't know how to say if it's the start of a bull cycle or a bear cycle or view it in those terms, but like I have my eggs in the basket, right? Like I believe that prices will be higher in the future. And I think that they're moving in that direction. Like obviously there's going to be like a lot of volatility if it is factually starting to head upwards, but I believe in the upwards chop, and that's how I'm positioning myself right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that makes sense. I think it's nice to see the volatility, in my opinion. It kind of reminds you of like 2021 and maybe even like late 2020, where you get a lot of volatility, but once you zoom out over the course of a few weeks or months, the price actually goes higher. Like it's way better than a lot of this year or last year when you just had flat price action or down price action for ages and no vol. So I think it's good vol, but yeah, you got to be careful if you're like trading on leverage and stuff.
Well, I'm just also not going to do anything, like how many, again, I'll circle it back. How many thousands of times have we seen people tweet out that like your best move right now would be to go into a coma, to not sell anything, to hold on to your bags. And yet everyone's still going to overtrade. They're still going to lose money, but not me. I'm going to be the most stoic of them all. And that's my plan.
How do you do it? As someone who chose the opposite path and now has to keep going down the path he chose.
Well, like while everyone else is losing their minds on like DEX tools and leverage, I'm losing my mind on Twitter, right? So like we're just all doing it in different places.
That's a fair trade-off. Like, I'll go back in time and do that instead.
That's a good distraction.
Schizo-tweeting. Like it's true though. Like I'm distracted schizo-tweeting, and I need to stop because it's gonna kill me. It's not good, and everyone hates it, and I hate it, and I don't like CryptoFinally either a lot of the time. But like I really do just sort of participate in other parts of the internet that don't have me gambling on bags that I believe in, right? Again, like I'm sized in a way that things that I have really high long-term conviction in, like they're probably going to be fine. And if they're not, we were all wrong and everything goes to zero. And that is comforting to me. Like that I won't be the only one who's wrong. We will all be wrong. And that's great. So that's one of the other.
That's solid. Well, if anyone wants to take the opposite side of Finally trade, the Fed meeting's in 2 minutes for some volatility on the daily. But as we close it out here before the Fed meeting starts, well, I guess we'll be running into the Fed meeting a little bit here.
So it's fucking 43.5.
What? It is? Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, we got to get to the closing questions. Then we're going to do some Rollbit Spins where we give away NFTs to people. Last week, somebody won the NFT worth $25K, and we've given away like $400K worth of shit, I feel like. So it's been pretty good for the listeners. So stick around for that. We'll have the spins and whatnot. But for the final question here, CryptoFinally, can we get your advice? I mean, you gave a lot of it already, but what would be your top thing to tell everyone here on how not to get wrecked?
Don't risk everything. You just don't risk everything. No matter what you do, don't risk everything. That's all you have to do is not lose it all, right? Maybe you're not going to make your 1,000,000x trade on everything if you don't risk it all, but you're also not going to lose it all. And the only important thing is that you survive. The only thing that matters.
Survival is king. Agreed there. OSF, if you want to take away with the next code, we'll get the Twitter picker up and running. And then, we're going to have the people who are called from the Twitter picker, please request via Spaces. And our first one today is going to be somebody that we missed last week, Schwan Dangle or something. All that stuff is telling me. So there's going to be 2 spins for live listeners. Why don't you give the next code, OSF?
Yeah, so the next code is maybe 1682. Maybe 1682.
All right, let's get that Twitter picker going. I don't know, Mando, I guess you're going to be doing the picker, right? Or no, OSF?
I'm doing the picker.
So go ahead and share your screen and I will bring it up.
This is not great. I don't see my screen sharing working right now.
Nice. Well, it's right in the center of the restream if you see it there.
Yeah, no, I see it. Give me 1 sec. I need to change browser. 1 sec.
All right, play the elevator music, somebody.
The boomers continue.
I mean, you want to just like do it and we'll call it out, or
Yeah, I feel like you should just do it, OSF.
here I got live. Fed, tighter financial conditions. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Nothing really happening actually. Market barely moved. So the Fed meeting, it's fine. Don't trade it if you haven't already. Would be my advice. What happened to OSF? There he is. Okay, he's coming back. Everyone, if you want to watch the Twitter Picker live, you can fire up the live stream right now. We'll get these spins going. This is our producer's out today. This isn't my fault or OSF's or Mando's or Finally's.
Here we go. All right, can you guys see that?
There we go.
Okay.
We're fired up.
So get Twitter data.
All right, here we go. We're going to call the contestants out. I'll shout them out for everyone. I mean, the quality is so bad. There we go. Hossein Saley, 1994. Hossein Saley, 1994. Dylan EF. Dylan EF. Hossein Saley, 1994. Can you guys find them in the Twitter Spaces? Because remember, I threw my phone well off the screen because we had an echo, so I can't add anyone.
Okay, I found Dylan. And we need Hossein Saley, 1994.
Do you find him?
Just having a look.
Hossein Saley, 1994.
Yo, let's go.
What's up, Dylan?
What's up, boys? How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you today?
Doing great.
Good. I'm hyped. Thanks for this.
Hell yeah, dude. We're hyped for you. Hopefully it's something sick.
All right. Hossein Saley has 5 more seconds.
All right. Pernicious 100. Pernicious 100. Pernicious. I can't read.
So I spin the first two or no?
No,
let's slow down.
Yeah.
I felt like you were in a rush.
I have to get your screen share. No, there's nothing to do.
Nothing.
You got to get your screen shared too. Can you load that up? Just share right now. It won't pop up. I have to pop it up.
Okay.
Pernicious 100. I don't see them.
What's the next one?
Oh, whoa! I found Hossein.
Okay, Hossein's there. We're good. All right. We're gonna watch some people win some NFTs here. The first spin's gonna be for the dude from last week, Sagasaurus Rex or whatever the fuck it was.
We know another OSF edition.
Oh, OSF, fuck cash grabs. Congratulations for that. Everyone send your ETH address to the Rekt Radio Twitter account after this, if you want, please.
All right,
this is for Dylan. No, this is for Hossein.
This is for Hossein.
Hossein was first.
No, Hossein.
All right,
Robot, let's fucking go. Congratulations.
Nice. Thank you.
And then the last one's for Dylan.
Let's have a big win.
Let's really share him on here. He's in the chat.
Oh my god!
Oh no! Dylan.
You won
a $60,000 Bored Ape, bro.
No way. No.
Yes, dude.
You should go to Hong Kong right now.
Bored Ape 3158. Go look it up.
That's a nice ape as well. VRA.
Wait, boys, you're lying.
I swear to God, Dylan. He's on the fucking chat, which is great.
60 grand.
What are you gonna do with this thing? Are you gonna keep it or sell it?
Bro, I'm selling it, helping I'm moving out. Bro, I'm literally moving out.
Yeah, well, you just fucking won, dude.
You won 60 grand. Well done.
Dude, my friend literally just messaged me and said, yo, you're going to win the ape. They said you're going to win the ape, and I said, imagine.
You won the ape. This is amazing.
That's the top prize. That's a good one.
That's one of the biggest prizes we've ever had, probably. CryptoFinally brought you some good luck with that one.
I was going to say I'm literally a good luck charm.
Yeah, there you go. Holy fuck.
This happened.
Send your ETH address, not an exchange address, not a Rollbit address, like a real ETH address to our Rekt Radio account. We're going to triple check those. And yeah, man, you won an ape. I mean, congrats. That's awesome.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much.
Jesus Christ, that's epic. Yeah, wow. Good win. That makes you feel good.
Sorry.
I like this because we've also made sure that these are fair prices now. Like we've done better with the box. So that's a good ape.
That ape was sick. It looked great. That's a great ape. I mean, like, I would take that ape. You want to send it to me?
So I guess, who do I send the address to?
Rekt Radio.
Rekt Radio on Twitter, our Twitter account, brother.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
Everyone else who won, also please send it there. Yeah, finally, thanks for coming on. For the good luck charm for Dylan. I think he's days made with that one. I know. I feel like anyone's would be. So that's a good win. Thanks a lot, finally, for coming on, discussing everything we had to talk about today.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And until next week, thanks a lot finally for coming on as well. Great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks, everyone. Oh, you're choppy a little bit. I think we lost you.
I just said thank you.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Thanks again, everyone. All right, I'm trying to figure out how to end the stream. We're just awkwardly saying thanks over and over. Thanks. Okay, did you end the spaces? There we go. End the stream.